All right, welcome to the group call for the 19th of May. I hope you've all had a really fantastic weekend. Apologies if I look a little bit like shit. I was up until 2 a.m. just working on some updates. So, yeah, not the best at the moment. But I managed to just do a few things. That's normally my peak time of concentration is like 11 p.m. till 2 a.m. That's when I'm really at my peak, which is a bit crazy. But that's when I kind of get everything done. All right, so we're going to jump straight into the signal chart. So let's start with there. Let me just deactivate this camera. All right. So as soon as I opened up this chart this morning, the price on this specific chart was exactly over here. That's where it was. Now, I normally hesitate to jump straight into a trade the moment I open up the charts, and that's because I've been burned too many times. Sometimes you'll open up a chart, it'll look amazing, and you'll jump into a trade. I've been burnt more than a few times, more than I care to imagine doing that. So I've kind of developed a habit of setting up my charts and watching the markets for about 10 to 15 minutes, just to see what they are doing. And then I end up, taking trades. That's normally how I would function. But if anybody was watching the charts earlier today, like when the market opened, so as you know, the market opened 6 p.m. in New York. So you're watching the charts. At this stage over here, we actually had these breakout markers left behind, and the price went and broke above that, and also broke above the 5-minute 23.6 Fibonacci. So, everything above, when the price is above and all the markers are below, even though you have some arrows that might be facing down, there's still a good scalping opportunity there. But it is a good idea to look at other charts too. So like I mentioned, this one here is my favorite chart to use. It's called the Show Me the Money signal chart. But it's also a good idea to look at a few of the other signal charts that you are concentrating on, just to see what price is doing and where it's likely to go next. So I normally have these ones over here. Now, these ones that have been set up over here are just like it's like a combo that I've created. And if you go to your workspaces, you'll see over there, it's called DTB indicator sample. So what that basically does is I've created a few signal charts over here, just sampling out what the tools look like, and lay them up, look through a few charts first, spend a few minutes just reviewing a few of them, and then come back to your main chart and then make your trading decision. So that's what I would recommend when looking at the signal charts. And yes, it does help if you've got multiple screens and you can put some charts on different screens. You could also separate these a little bit. You could put them independently on the chart or on the screen, so you can have maybe 2 windows open on your main screen that you're working off, and then make decisions from there. But yeah, I really like that. That's a good one. I don't normally also trade against the arrows, but when you see things like that and there's no, support above that or resistance above that, the price is going to run a little bit up there. Anyway, so a very good signal chart. It just spend a few minutes watching it in the morning before you actually start trading it. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at our results for last week. So if I put this up here, so last week it was the 13th, right? So Monday the 13th was the first day of the week. Okay, so I started posting my results in there, as did you guys. So thank you very much for that. I posted them in there. Had a few losing positions there. Some good results posted. Thanks for your guys' continued contribution to putting your results in the chat there. That's very helpful. Okay, so that was all listed over there. And I know towards the end of the week, we did have some losing days. So something happened there with Chris. I'm not too sure. We'll look at that a bit closer later. Really great results. So, if you guys were managing these strategies during the week, and I know we had some crazy news last week and the markets just went absolutely haywire after that. So, being able to manage the strategies and pause them. Oh yes, and then the strategy over here for Ali actually went and hit the stops. So you have a few things over here. Yeah, so it looks like NinjaTrader just shut itself a little bit over here on this account because you had your daily loss exits there, and then for some reason the trades went to hit their stop. So that was a bit odd. But I wanted to cover something too. So you said that you've got an 800 stop. Now you've got to look at the stops in relation to. I mean, this is a bit unique. This I haven't seen this before, where you've actually had a few bars and then go hit a stop. So something went wrong over there. Definitely went wrong over there. But I'm going to cover something about the stops in general. So let's first look at this week, what templates have been provided. So in our baseline wick trader, we've got, let me just see, our baseline wick trader chat. We've got a few templates provided there. So thanks, Christopher, for providing those earlier. So we're going to look at those. And we also had one for the SI filter strategy. So let me go and bring those ones up in our chart. So I'm just going to minimize this. So finally, it looks like this is reversing. Then we've had a red bar, which is significantly overbought. So just very quickly on the signal chart, you'll see these bars go green. That's when the buyers are in control. And then as soon as they get to tomato color, it's basically saying that the price is overbought and likely to reverse. And then when it goes to the red, like the maroon color, that's when it's significantly overbought. So that's when the price is very likely to reverse. Now, in situations where there's a very specific push up in price, like there's obviously something in the news or something to do with some banks manipulating something, that's not always going to be 100% correct, right? Because they're pushing up the price no matter what any tools are going to tell them. And often with that, like they're pushing through significant support or resistance levels, and then they're running the price from there. But generally, if you look back at the chart, you're going to notice like there's the cyan, and that's for significantly oversold. So that color of that bar over there, so that's the opposite to the maroon, right? But generally, when you see that maroon bar, very, very high chance of price reversing. So that's something to look out for. And remember, these bars paint in real time, and that is the color of the bar after it has closed. So the moment the bar is going to be that color during the bar formation, because the indicator calculates on each tick. So the bar is going to color that way in real time, as we saw at the end of the chart. But that bar is certainly going to stay that color, forever. It's not going to change color afterwards. So it's not going to repaint. So again, there's your your purple bars. So you can go as far back on the chart as you want, and you're going to notice very, 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 very consistently, like a very high 70 to 80% of the time, you're going to have the price significantly reverse hitting those levels. Now, I haven't got to the stage of creating an automated strategy for this, and it seems pretty simple to do that specific thing. So I'm going to look into that. But even with the tomato colored bars, there's a good chance of reversal there. But I've always picked up that those maroon bars are like the height of the turnaround. So there's just been up to tomato. There's that very dark color. So over there, you see it. If I had automated strategy there, it would have bought there. You know, this one would have been a losing position, right? That's why it does take some manual intervention to enter a position or wait for a arrow and a coloring of that bar and then enter a position. That could be another filter to use. Same thing over here. Wait for the purple bar and then an arrow to enter a position. But basically, as far as you go on the chart, I mean, okay, there's a red one over there. So it went from green to tomato to that high maroon, and then kind of the momentum kind of shifted down a little bit, and then even went back to green, and then, you know, came back down. So that just means that the overall velocity of the price, excuse me, has decreased in that sense. So, you know, it's quite a powerful velocity indicator, this, to give you a clear picture of what price is going to do. So as far as you go back on the chart, and, you know, even for the guys that are using the complementary indicator, you've got access to this exact same thing. So you are seeing the exact same thing. Obviously, you can't create a strategy out of your indicator because I've removed the coding for the plots on that. So look at that, guys. So if you're ever looking at entering a short position and the price is trending up, wait for a maroon arrow like that, a maroon bar, and then, you know, you can enter a position. But obviously, watching out where these volume breakout markers are left behind. Okay, so I'll look at past that. Let's go to our workspace and our game plan. Now, I haven't processed the new game plan, obviously, because I only finished the update at 2 a.m. my time, and I've only just got onto the PC when I started the video. So I haven't actually done any of the game plan templates for the week, but as usual, we're probably going to just use the ones that Christopher has provided, and maybe even what Fernando has. So let's first look at the MNQ template. So MNQ is what most of you guys are going to be working on this week. You know, even if you're trading the NQ, you might be, you know, copying those trades to a micro account. But let's just load up this strategy. So actually, you know what? We should probably run this from the beginning, just because we've got a few new members that have joined this week, and I want to make sure they're on the same page. So you guys would have updated your assembly, you know, over the weekend, or you would have got your assembly late last week. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to your Documents NinjaTrader 8 folder, and this is where you put your script file, right? So you're going to run your script, and like I'm going to select one. So you're going to run your script, and you're going to select option number 4. So option number 4 is just going to clear out data. It's going to update all your DTB templates, and it's also going to download the new assembly. So that's a good one to use. So 4 is a good one. Otherwise, number 2 is also a good one, and number 1. So any of those can be run, but I prefer number 4 because it just clears everything out. So once you've run number 4 and NinjaTrader is open, just close NinjaTrader. And then go to your tools after you've reopened it, tools, and then remove NinjaScript assembly, and look for any assembly on there that is dated previously to 19 May. So I think we had an April one in there. So if you have an older one in there, just remove this one. Okay, remove the older one, and then restart NinjaTrader. Now, it's always good to, like, as you know, the document that shows you guys how to do these updates always says it's a good idea to close all workspaces. So always close the workspaces first, remove the old assembly, restart NinjaTrader, and then go Tools, Import, NinjaScript add-on, you know, once NinjaTrader has restarted, and then navigate to your documents, NinjaTrader 8, DTB assemblies, and there you're going to see your latest assembly. If you see one there dated previously, just go and delete it, and at least then, you know, you've only got the latest one in there in case you need to replace it. And obviously, once you have updated this, run that assembly update, you're going to have, a message saying, everything's been imported successfully. And then you can go to your workspace and you can open up your workspaces. So that's where we are now. We opened up the workspace, game plan week ahead. Now, generally, if you open up, I'm going to go to my strategy section over here on this MNQ chart, baseline wick trader, and I'm actually going to go template load, and I'm going to load the one that Christopher just provided. Now, I'm pretty sure it is this one over here. It must be this one. MNQ. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to load this one and just look at the properties of it. So 222.0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the contracts. Yeah, so I'm just going to activate this. I'm only logged into my sim feed at the moment. So I'm just going to log onto this and then bring up the chart. So if I go to the data series, I think he's gone 14th of April. I'm not sure. Let me just check on his template again, because normally on the template he will tell us what dates have been actually created there. So if I just go to disable this for a moment, and I go template load, okay, he's basically said there 21st of April. Okay, 0421, yes, that's the other way around. So what he's basically done there is we've changed the dates on here. So if you go to your data series, instead of the 4, because it's basically gone a week ahead for the new optimization, up until current date. All right, and we go back to that strategy and activate it. Okay. All right, so there we're going to see the entries of this. You'll see it's got a very nice high accuracy point, only trading the 9 till 11 period. Okay. Let's see. So pretty decent results and stuff on there. Now let's have a look at the strategy performance of this specific one, and then we'll cover something else that's quite important. Okay. So you'll see over here, historical performance of this. We've seen a 266 day, 221, 156, but then we've also got a $427 day. Now you'll notice that, which was on the 15th of May, right? Okay, so you'll notice that we've got only a $200 stop on here. So that might look like, the strategy has, completely ignored the daily stop. Well, the strategy does act on bar close. So we've got to remember that when we are setting our daily stops and targets, we've got to be able to calculate what is the total amount of contracts that we are entering. Okay, what is the total amount of contracts that we are entering? And how much are they combined going to lose on the next bar close? So like, as you can see, these all went and bought over there. Okay, the price came down and closed the bar on bar close. And as soon as that bar closed, that strategy exited. Okay, so you have got this value over here. So if you've got, this is up to 10 contracts. So you're going to basically get, I'm trying to work out the average of where this would be, because remember the first one is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the amount of contracts that are being entered. So you've got to work out what is the middle of this, more or less. Where would the price be? And you can even do this on a replay. If you're doing a playback connection and you pause the strategy when it's entered all 4 positions, and you can see more or less where that entry point is. So you basically got to go and say, okay, well, that looks like the average entry point. Okay. Now, if I go and calculate how much 10 micro contracts were for 82. So 82, I'm using a calculator for this because my brain literally is not switched on yet. Okay, so what have we got? We've got 82 ticks, and we've got times 5, right? Because we're doing 10 micro contracts, which is a half a lot. It's a half a mini, basically. So that's 82. So that works out to 400. That's already $400. So we have to realistically always put our maximum daily stop around the $450 mark, which is more or less what the strategy told us happened, right? So if we go to the performance again, what are the performance? Strategy performance, real-time and historical. So basically, we know that a losing day of all 4 contracts is going to be $427. We know that. So we have to make sure that our daily stop is going to be, that value, say $420, because that is the minimum that the strategy will lose if all 4 of those hit their stops. So, that's something to think about. Now, obviously, if you had to double this, so if you had to make your daily stop $900, it's going to allow for a complete loss of 4 contracts, but then the strategy is going to try again to enter positions, and it's likely that the next ones will hit their target. So, I haven't obviously proven this on this video, but generally, you may have 8 entries here, and then they kind of a break even. The day ends up breaking even. So that's something to look at. So if we're going to run this, so I'm going to bring up the strategy analyzer. Okay, I'm going to go template load. And we're going to load this one again. So this is the MNQ one. Okay, so these are the A and B settings. And the tick delay. So we're going to run just run this again for what was done over here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 till 11, 11:45. So all of these values are going to stay the same, but I'm just going to adjust the stop loss a little bit, and I'm going to actually make it 600, and just see what what happens over here with this. Okay, so make that 600, and then all we have to do now is go and optimize our A and B settings. Okay, I'm gonna start from 2, just on this one over here, and I'm gonna go up to 10. So we're gonna run this, and then we're gonna see what this produces. So I'll piss off. It's NQ. I've got to change to MNQ. So I'll just let it run. I hate it when you load a template and it doesn't actually load the instrument that you freaking selected. Anyway, something you just got to deal with, unfortunately. Okay, so forget about this. We're going to go and run the NQ. So that doesn't even look bad. But remember, we're chasing a very, that's still going to be inaccurate, because remember, you're going to have days that are going to lose more, right? So let's go and switch this back to MNQ. MNQ 624. And run that. Again, as usual, if there's any comments or questions, you can pop them in the chat. The chat for over here, the group calls chat. Okay, so here we are getting that's weekly. Okay, so let's have a look at the daily on here. Yeah, so same thing there. We're going to have those 4. So if you set your daily stop to be a bit higher, you're going to get a lot. You're going to definitely have those. You're going to see that the stop value days are going to be a lot closer to your actual set stop on there. Now, it doesn't mean that, having a $200 stop loss is bad. It's just that it's not going to always show you the exact values. You always need to know what is the worst case scenario of trades actually exiting. So you can still optimize it however you want, but just always bear in mind and be prepared for that daily stop, or for that event where all those contracts are hitting a miss. Another thing you can also look at doing, which I think some of you are interested in doing, is minimizing the amount of contracts that the strategy is entering. So if you don't want to go 1 1 1 1, you can even go, just 1 1 1 and 1. So that's optimizing it, just taking out one entry for every single part. For every entry that the strategy takes, it's only going to be one. If you want to spread it out a little bit across the 4 signals, you can also do 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So it's not 10 contracts like it was before, but it's going to be 8. So you can run that. So there's a few things you can do, and you can obviously optimize the daily stops and targets too, the values on there. So the work that I've done is mostly behind the scenes. So I've actually done a lot of work on the indicator itself. So the indicator that you're looking at over here, there's a lot of work on the back end that I've done to that. And if I just bring up the chart, you'll see that there's not much on that chart. But I've actually got a setting over here, which is to show the vertical lines where orders are basically submitted to where the strategy submits orders. So I'm going to just take this back to its 1, 2, 3, 4 like it was before. Okay, I'm going to run that, and I've ticked that box, so we should see the lines of that on the chart. It's a good idea to play around with these optimizations, to try a few different things, but obviously use this as a base. I mean, these templates provided are absolutely phenomenal to run on their own, but you can definitely optimize different periods of the day. You can work with different times of the day also. Okay, so as you noticed on here, so I'm just going to bring up this one chart. Okay, so I'm going to go just template, and I'm going to go save. I'm just going to call this 1 1 at this stage, and then I'm going to bring up the chart. So if I go to my MNQ chart and I go strategies, we'll come back to this template one we'll come back to this template one in a moment. I'm just going to load the one I just did now. So template load, and go to the 1 1, so that one there, and enable. So you'll notice there that I've got a box ticked to I'm excluding to show the indicator. So obviously the indicator is going to be coloring the bars. It's going to be producing all those dotted lines on the chart. So they can take up a lot of system resources, which is why it's a good idea not to run the strategy analyzer with the indicator actually selected. But what I have done separately is I've separated the lines of where the orders are placing. So if we go, if you go and look at this now, you'll see that every single time a line has been drawn, that's when the strategy submitted those limit orders. Now, as you can see over here and over there, that these 2 limit orders would have cancelled before they were filled. This one over here submitted limit orders, and they were filled, you see. So you're going to see where all these limit orders are placed, and as soon as the signal changes, it's going to submit those limit orders. It's like this one over here was that one over there. So this one here, the limit order cancelled, it changed. So if you want to go and see what those are, you can go into the strategy settings, and let me just see if it's in here. it's actually on the indicator settings. So if you go to the indicator settings, you'll notice that it's not going to be on this one. I have to add the indicator. You'll see the SI indicator, which is the indicator behind the strategy, has got these colors. So you're going to notice that the colors are going to basically change and update according to what you're seeing over there. So magenta, cyan. So those are the signals that you are taking. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are the 4 signals that you are taking, and they're basically plotting over there as vertical lines to show you which signal has taken the trades. Now, if you had to deactivate the strategy and you had to go and deselect a few of those entries, so like if I go there and I say, well, I only want to take, let me just see, where are these things? The signal. So there's the first signal, second signal, third signal, fourth signal. So that's defined by those repaints. Okay, so every time the price comes and retouches those levels, it's called a repaint. So it's a bit of an odd term for it, but it basically goes and repaints that signal to a different signal from what it was. So if you go only select the first signal and you activate the strategy, you are going to see only magenta and cyan. So what's happening is the strategy is only acting on the first signal, and it's going to be magenta for long and cyan for short. So the whole chart is going to show you only magenta and cyan lines. Okay. So the reason why I did this is just to make it a lot cleaner for you guys to see what's happening. So realistically, and you know what some of you might be looking at doing, which I think is a damn fabulous thing, is you can go and optimize each specific signal. Okay, so you can say, I'm going to have an optimization and I want to optimize only the first signal. Okay, so I'm going to run that optimization now, and that's going to be only for the first trade signal. Okay, let this complete. So this helps when you want to trade multiple strategies at the same time. And also for every signal that you have, you can also have different daily stops and targets. Okay, so like as an example, this one over here is only trading the first signal. Okay, so only one signal, you're only going to have cyan and magenta. Okay, so that's that one. All right. Now what you can do is you can go and optimize the second signal. Okay, so what I'm going to do is a bit of a sneaky one. I'm going to duplicate this in a new tab so that, as you can see, I change this from false to true to false. So it's going to run that in a new tab. Okay, and I'm going to come back to this tab that I just made adjustment on, and I'm obviously going to change this back to true and false. Okay, so that's the result from the first signal being optimized. And if you look at the second signal being optimized, which is only number 2, we're going to see the chart's going to look differently there again. Okay, so for the second signal, you've got 2,200 with a 282 drawdown. Okay, remember it's only entering on that second signal. So now all of a sudden you're looking at this chart and you're saying, okay, well, the first signal historically has made 4,000 with a reasonable drawdown. The second signal has made 2,200. All of a sudden you've got a $6,000 strategy, right? Just by optimizing, to the signals independently of each other. And then obviously you can go further from there. So you can go false to this one also, and you can make the third one true. And then you can duplicate that one in a new tab. So what you're doing now is you're optimizing only the third signal. And then we'll do the same thing over here again, because we want to remember what we've done. So this one was true, and this one was false. So as you optimize the lower end signals, if you're only optimizing the third and the fourth signal, you're going to notice that the entries are going to be much less because the third and the fourth signal present themselves much less frequently than the first and the second signal. So for very, 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 very conservative people who want to trade and they want to take the highest probability trades, they don't want to just enter on the initial signals. They might say, well, I'm going to optimize only the third signal and only trade the third signal. And then if you look at the chart, you're going to notice that the yellow line is the third one, and the orange line is the third one. So this one will be for long, and the other one will be for short long, I'm not sure, but that's the only time that this strategy is going to enter positions is when the third signal presents. Now imagine running all three of these strategies on a chart, and you've got all of a sudden 1,600, plus the 2,200 plus the 4,000. So all of a sudden you've got $8,000. You've almost doubled your earning potential on this. So, especially for the guys who've got multiple accounts, you can have different strategies running, different optimizations running on the same instrument, but targeting different signals. And then, you could alternate between your accounts. You could submit signals and, work between the accounts. So that's something that you could also do. So like as an example on this one over here, this one only entered a few trades, like very few trades. But, the percentage profitable, greatly increased. But then again, we're only targeting that one specific signal. And obviously, if you go to the fourth one, it's going to be even less. I will just do that anyway, just because we can. So I'm going to duplicate this in a new tab. And come back to here. Now, remember too, I haven't optimized the, I haven't optimized the dollar values. Obviously, a different dollar value will be good to target, especially using the third signal. So on the third signal, as an example, because it's going to trade much less, we're not going to target 1150 per day. We might say, well, we only want to target $200 a day. Okay, so let's just run this one very quickly. So let's just go. Let's go a little bit more. Let's go 400. 400, and then we'll make this 200, and then we'll run the optimization on this. Okay, and let's just see what that comes out at. While that's calculating, we can look at the results of the fourth optimization. Okay, so there's a bit less. As you can see, much less trades have taken place because we're only trading that fourth signal. So going back on the chart, you're going to notice that there. So there's the signal presented. There was a big changeover, so that no signals entered there. And there. Okay, so coming back to this one over here. Okay, there wasn't much of a difference there because it obviously is targeting very low value. So basically look at how many would 4 trades be, how many would 8 trades be per day. So 4 trades is going to net you $187. So that's why you can probably put your target as even 150, and then what will happen, it'll close at the 187 anyway, because that's the bar close. So that's what you can do with the strategy too. So not only optimize obviously your entries, your targets, your stops, but you can also optimize individual signals. I hadn't covered that before, but I thought it'll just be good to put it out there, in case you guys wanted to further navigate the capabilities of the strategy. Okay, so that's that. Now I wanted to also bring up the other template. Okay, so let's have a look at the SI multi-filter strategy. And again, any questions, you guys can pop them in the group call chat on Discord. Okay, so template, and I'm going to go load, and I'm going to go this one over here. Is this the one you just did? Yes. So this is 24th of May, 14th of January. Okay, so this is from the 14th of January up until today. So if I go and activate this, okay, so this is the, first of all, we just run the back test on this. Okay. I think this will work. So MNQ is the 14th of January up until today. Now, with this, I always like to just go ahead like that. And I'm going to just run this and just see what this one pops up as. Oh, again, I've chosen MNQ. It's supposed to be NQ. Because the template, if I look at the folder there, and I go to Documents, NinjaTrader 8, where are you? Documents, NinjaTrader 8, Templates, and SI Multi-Filter Strategy. Okay, that was for the NQ. So yeah, I've got to go and just change that. Again, I think it pisses me off that it doesn't automatically change, but then I forget to do it. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Just a bit of a delay. Let me see if this works. Template load. Is that going to throw it off? Come on. Okay, so another thing you can do, if this thing's doing this, okay, and you don't need it to do that, you just got to go duplicate a new tab, okay, and then it will stop doing what it's doing. I mean, there should just be a cancel button, but anyway. So that's what you can do. So we're going to run the back test on this for those periods, and we're going to use the NQ like we were supposed to, and I'm going to run that. Okay, cool. So let's just finish. Let's see if this one is still, yeah, this one's still stuck here. Unbelievable, man. So if I close that, should get rid of that. Another thing too, if you close a analyzer template, you'll notice that it's all of a sudden puts like a transient background to the analyzer. Very odd behavior of NinjaTrader, but I mean it definitely does that. Okay, so let this continue running. Actually, while that's running, I might just open it up on a chart. There we go, it's run. Okay, so those results look a little bit different to what I noticed on yours. So let's have a look at this. Analysis, it's got a 69 with a 14, so that's not the greatest look. I might have to run an optimization on this. I'm not sure if Fernando has updated to the latest assembly when he ran this update. So obviously the previous assembly had a slightly different calculation for the SI filter. I actually had put in a lot of extra checks to make sure that the signals are being more consistent. So that required just doing a little bit of background calculation or optimization in there. I'm just going to run through a quick optimization on this because you guys also use this strategy. So let's just see what this one we can come up with. So I'm going to go 2 to 10, and I'm going to go 2 to 58. So this is a good idea if any of you guys wanted to, bring up an optimization or bring up a strategy template. So as you can see, that this template was basically pulled from the chat for the SI strategy. So you can go and bring it up, and you could load it up in your analyzer, and then you could manipulate some of the values, the entries, the targets, the stops. So it's always a very good basis to start off, working off these templates. Okay. So you'll notice it probably takes about 2 minutes or so to run each of the optimizations for the individual A and B settings. Now this is over a longer period of time. So this is from the 14th of January. Okay, so it is a longer optimization period. So we're analyzing a bit more data. So we're still trying to determine what the current heartbeat of the market is, but we're just looking over a slightly larger period of time to be able to, see what has worked in the past, but also what has worked up until current time. And in the hope that those are going to continue on for a while. And that while could be, 1 or 2 days. It could be the next week. So we're obviously trying to get settings for the next week ahead. Again, we also don't have the indicator added to the chart. So you're going to see it's not going to be physically on the chart. So that does speed it up slightly. And there, it took just under 2 minutes to run that optimization. Okay, what is happening here? Okay, so this here is it significantly changed that. So that's from February to May. Something not 100% right here. So I'm just going to put this in. Yeah, that doesn't sound right at all. 910 is not settings that I am used to at all. But I'm just going to run with this for now and just see what is coming up. So I'm just going to go between 2 and 100 over here. I just want to see if this has anything to do with it. Yeah, I've got a funny feeling that this optimization was done on a previous version of the indicator, and that's why that setting might not be, although we did run the back test, so it's a bit odd. It definitely was on NQ. Okay, so what have we done? There's the stop ticks. He's got stop ticks and target ticks. He's got that value and that value. It's got quite a high, yeah, something's completely out of whack here. I don't know what has happened here. Something is not right, but that's very odd. Okay, I'm just going to bring up that template again. I don't know what the hell happened with this optimization, whether I've done something wrong, more than likely. So I'm just going to bring that up again. Just 1 second. I think my optimization might be erroneous. So back to here. Let's go back. Let's go to this chart. So I'm gonna go to this MNQ chart here, which is another one over here, and I'm gonna just load that data series. So obviously we're looking at NQ because that was what that template was. So template, and I'm gonna go data series, and I'm gonna go from the period of time that optimization was done for, which was the 14th of January up until today. That's gonna load up that data. The data shouldn't take long to load at this point because we've already put it through the strategy analyzer. So go to the strategies, go to the SI strategy, which was that template over there, and load it up. Wrong strategy, damn it. So remove SI strategy 2 multi-filter is the one. Template load and pop that up. Okay, so I'm just looking at the settings over here. We've got 28, 40, 1858. Okay. We're not using the smoothing filter. We're trading from 9 till 11:50. Okay, we're trading those days. Stop ticks and target ticks, those are quite high. Daily stop, daily target, that's interesting. And let's have a look. Okay, yeah, so obviously I was doing something incorrect there on my optimization. I'm not sure what it was. I'll have to review that after the call. Okay, so this is basically just showing the tools, or showing that specific template, the entries that would have taken. Now, as you can see, it can take up to 4 entries. Like over there, it entered a maximum of 3. But generally, it's going to enter up to 4 maximum. Now, you can control that. Like there, it entered 1, 2, 3, 4. So there, it entered the 4 contracts, and then went to its daily profit exit. So that's something you could definitely run. So what some of you might be doing is you might run something like this and then copy the trade to like a micro account, especially if you can't handle a large drawdown on there. So that's something you can look at. Now, I know that the template that was posted looked a lot better than this, so I'm not sure what's happening on my side, but if you guys can load up that template yourself and see what it looks like on your charts, and then go from there. Okay, so for this week, we're going to work with the templates already provided. So I'm going to just go and fine-tune them a little bit and look for one with 2 entries only to accommodate the guys with much smaller accounts. So I'm going to do that for the rest of this day. And then by the time the US session starts, you're going to have your game plan set up. So as usual, you go to the game plan chat in Discord over here. And that's where I'm going to give you guys an update on the templates, and then you can run them, and then obviously you can run any of the others that you have created for yourself or been working with. Great, so I didn't see any other questions in there, so there was nothing else I needed to really cover. But if there is anything, you guys can just pop me an email as usual, or chat to me on Discord or Skype, or however you want, and I am here. All right. How do I get this thing back? There we go. Perfect. So thanks, guys, for jumping on the call. It wasn't an extra long call. And to be quite honest, I'm a little bit out of it this morning. But as usual, you guys are very switched on. So we cover a similar format on these calls, so you guys will know exactly where you should be. And for the new guys, just follow the game plan chat, because that's going to provide a really clear instructions on how to set up the charts and then run the strategies for the week ahead. Okay, guys, we'll leave it at that. Have a good one, and we shall chat soon. Thank you.